If you are a strength athlete, or if you are a bodybuilder, or if you're any athlete at all, really, if you're not even an athlete, this book is essential because what it teaches is fundamental and it's really changed my life. So the title speaks for itself. If you know anything about me, you know that deadlifts have been my favorite exercise ever since I discovered them. When I first found this book that was dedicated to a single exercises, I was like, yeah, I have to have that. I studied this thing inside and out, and it's been an extremely valuable resources to me ever since. I'm no power lifter, I'm a bodybuilder, but any competitive bodybuilder is going to have a frame and a foundation that's built off of solid strength exercises like this, which is my personal favorite of all the strength exercises for a good, hard, dense physique. Deadlifts aren't just a gym exercise. They're something that you do every single day, whether you pick something up off the floor, whether you help somebody move. The deadlift is perhaps the most functional exercise that you can do. And ever since reading this book, and everything that I do is with effortless deadlift form, like picking anything up off the floor. My wife laughs when I pull baking sheets out of the oven. She's like, that's literally textbook deadlift form. And I'm like, I'm not even thinking about deadlifts or my form right now. I just know that I need to engage my glutes and my hamstrings. Romanian deadlifts is when you pull something out of the oven. But I'm like, I just know that I need to have my butt back and I need to balance and I need to have my glutes engaged. I know that I need to have my back in proper upright form so that I don't hurt my spine. You can hurt yourself even doing something as simple as that. So anyway, obviously this book can teach it. It teaches proper deadlift, conventional deadlift form, but it also includes over 24 other deadlift variations. Biofeedback testing, in which you test and predict what type of deadlift will be the most beneficial during that workout. And this book is complete with methods on how to track your progress, setting goals, comprehensive workout programs specific to your goal, and many other resources, including working around injuries. The segment that has been the most helpful to me has been the step-by-step process of how to literally fix my herniated disc by biofeedback testing, and still deadlifting heavy, but fixing my muscle imbalances instead of just quitting altogether. These methods that I learned in here were able to help me continue lifting heavy. I was pulling close to 500 pounds doing something called a Jefferson deadlift that fixed the muscle imbalances that I was undergoing at the time, and I didn't even need to go to a doctor. So, of course, going to a doctor would have been a good idea, but I always recommend checking with your doctor before implementing anything that you read or anything that you hear on YouTube. I'm only speaking from my personal experience here. But the most memorable quote from this book is on page 21. The main question you ask before every workout is, how can I do better than my previous session? It may be putting on more weight on the bar, or it may be taking weight off the bar so that you can do more, or that you can do it in less time. It doesn't matter as long as it's PR. So this book talks about setting goals. It talks about how to track your progress long term, and every single workout you should see an improvement in one way or another. So I would also add to that too, supersetting with things in between sets and deadlifts. So like for me, even if you go up 5 pounds every single week, you're crushing it, because eventually you're going to plateau and you're going to have to get creative and find ways to work around, and you're going to have to find ways to continually trick your body and continually challenge it with new methods. So one of the ways I like to do that is, like, I'll pull a certain amount of weight. I'll pull, say, 350 pounds, for example, for a certain number of reps. And then the next week I'll throw in bicep curls in between sets. And then the next week I'll take the bicep curls out, and then I'll do a little bit heavier, like 360 pounds for the same amount of reps. So that's just one more thing that I would add. But yeah, this book is something that I highly recommend, again, for anybody. Favorite deadlifts that I got out of this one, I mean, they're all good. I've tried pretty much all of them. So I'm going to be doing more videos, demo videos on how to do a lot of these exercises. But my favorite deadlift is conventional deadlifts all the way. It's done miracles for my back growth that I couldn't have done with all of the pull-ups and all of the rows in the world. Second to that is probably the Jefferson deadlift, because again, even with this herniated disc, I was able to pull close to 500 pounds and fix my muscle imbalances that I brought upon myself with too frequent conventional deadlifts. You got to get this thing. I'm going to put a link in the description.